Hi, everyone. So my name is Przemek Kowalczyk, and I'm co-founder of RAMP. I'm responsible for product development and technology. So I'm replacing my co-founder, Szymon, who unfortunately cannot join us today. So we at RAMP are working on making Web 3.0 accessible. And we want to bridge Web 2 finance with Web 3 finance. So together with Szymon, we've spent last 3 years on working on this problem and want to spend next 15 minutes to explain why I think this is the most exciting problem and in crypto space, and why it has gotten so little attention. So Web3 promises a lot, and I think it already delivered a lot. So we have digital cash based on open source, decentralized, stable currencies like DAI. And we also have transparent and open financial components, money ledgers like Compound, like Compound or Dharma or different decentralized exchanges that provide yields over 8% per year, so users can earn more per year than on their saving accounts. And I think those use cases are enough to convince people to join Web3. The question is why they didn't do that. And we are trying to find those problems in UX. And I agree, the UX is terrible right now. And so everyone is trying to solve different problems regarding UX in blockchain. For example, Itamar, who is next, is going to talk about private key management, as well as Nick from Casa. Besides private key management, we also have problem with slow transactions and expensive transactions, with unintuitive interactions in blockchain, and people are trying to solve this. But I think that those are nice problems to have, and people are trying to solve them because they are already onboarded to crypto. And we don't see the experience of someone who is new to crypto and who don't own crypto already. So let's, for example, say someone has euro or dollars, but they don't have crypto, and they want to use the ecosystem, so they have to somehow buy crypto. I mean, they don't even want to know that they're buying something, they just want to use the products. And this is the problem of on-ramping. And I think everyone who went through this process hates it. The current status quo is to just go to centralized exchange and go through horrific identity checks to show your ID, to do a selfie check just to buy small amounts of crypto. And the experience on centralized exchange is not perfect. On top of that, we have obscure and excessive fees that everyone charges. So it's not just they are high, they're also obscure. So you don't know how much you are going to pay till you have crypto on your wallet. And also, I think that the solution that everyone sees, especially when someone is from Western countries, they're seeing cards as a solution. And I think it's not always the best answer, because cards are very hostile infrastructure to crypto. Basically, cards are incompatible with crypto. There is never a guarantee that you're going to that the transaction is going to go through. The cards are very prone to fraud, and they are basically expensive. And I think the biggest problem with cards is that it's very monopolized market. We have two big players, Visa and MasterCard, that basically dominates this market and controls it. And at any point, like if we based our on-ramping solutions on cards, then at any point we can be basically removed from, this connection between Web 2 and Web 3 can be destroyed. I mean, it happens. It happens every few months that someone who is based his on-ramping solution on cards is disconnected from this infrastructure. And I think this problem can be summed up by saying that using Web 2 technology to access Web 3 will always be difficult and centralized. We are always going to face those problems. Fortunately, not just crypto evolves, but also finance evolves. And we have new solutions on the market. We have local payment methods and new payment methods like open banking in Europe. Also, we have challenger banks like Revolut that tries to that are more flexible than existing companies on this market, and they put user first. So we are trying to use those building blocks to create better on-ramping experience. And our solution is Ramp Instant, which is embeddable widget that dApps and wallets can embed to their flow, which is simple to use and implement. We are trying to be smart about QIC, don't require QIC at when you are doing small transactions under 1,000 euro. And also because we are using open banking in Europe, we are vastly less expensive than solutions based on cards. Also, we saw that the problem with current on-ramping solutions is lack of helpful customer support that we also offer. I think this can, like, our solution can help wallets and dApps to slash dropout rates when someone tries to use the product and leaves because he cannot be onboarded to crypto via this product. Already live in Opera. So if you open Opera crypto wallet in UK right now, you can access Ramp and be onboarded. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, Przemek, for your presentation. So now, yeah, let's switch over to Itamar from Argent, and he will be filling us in on his insights on the same subject.
So Argent exists to empower everyone to control and prosper from their digital assets and identity. And what I was saying here is that both control and prosper are important to us. We are non-custodial, we have full control of your assets, but prosper also means we didn't want to build a wallet where users have to choose between cold storage or hot storage. You shouldn't have your assets locked in a vault as a store value that you can never access. We wanted people to be able to use that day to day, and that should work whether you have $100 or $1 million. And so we had a few requirements of chips. The first is that we needed a fully global, open, transparent infrastructure. We didn't believe permission blockchain could help us achieve this. And naturally, when we started 3 years ago, Ethereum was the best candidate, not only for its global open nature, but of course, because it's a programmatic blockchain, and we'll see a bit later how we use this. Another requirement for us is that it had to be mobile. If you think of finance today, again, $100 or $1 million, you probably have access to this account on your phone and be able to interact day to day with it. But also, if you want to reach everyone, it is mobile. That's the majority of the population, the global population, that access to mobile. I think it's literally 80-90% of it, and more of these mobile phones are becoming smartphone. So the penetration of mobile is significantly above what a desktop or other device would have. And the last requirement for us that I mentioned was to be non-custodial. It's a hard one in the sense it's not clear that users really care, and it's not clear that users really understand this level of control that it gives them. But I think there's another element around, as a company, being non-custodial gives us the ability to move much faster. We are not a bank that sits on trillions of assets in a honeypot that every hacker in the world wants to access. We can move much faster once the core security, especially on smart contract, has been set, like properly audited, probably reviewed and battle tested. Once at scale, I believe non-custodial will give more security, but also more privacy in the future. And really, it's the only way to reach every human on the planet. You cannot onboard 5, 6, 7 billion people one by one into a centralized system. So the first phase, and then I'll try very soon to give you a short demo remotely. So the first phase was to provide a safe, simple, recoverable, non-custodial wallet. Seems simple, but the first thing is we couldn't rely on seed phrase. There was no way the next billion people would back up a seed phrase on a piece of paper. And so what we did is to provide the best feature of a bank, but without the custody. And in a minute, I'll go to the demo to show you how that can work. But if you look one by one, I mean, that means recovering your fund without seed phrase. So that's what we achieve in Argent. We are non-custodial, but you define what we call guardians. It can be social recovery, so you can have friends and family as guardians. It can be a service you trust, like Argent. It can be yourself with another key, a hardware wallet, MetaMask, with anything. So think about the element of multi-sig being used for recovery. But we wanted to go further. You should be able to lose your key. And I'll try to show you how, even if someone has access to your key, they cannot steal your funds. And that's similar to what a bank would do. If someone drains your bank account, it's likely they will give you a phone call because there's a large transfer from your bank. We'll show you how the same can be done on-chain in a trustless way. You should be able to freeze your account, to set trusted contact. We wanted also to abstract transaction fees. So in most of Argent, you still don't pay gas today, and then get rid of 0x cryptic address. So if we look, let's try to do it remotely through video. If we look at the demo, Argent feels like a banking app, like a modern one. You have your assets, you have your contacts. And then the difference first is in terms of security. You have what I mentioned, our guardians, and you can really manage them in app. It's very easy, whether you pick Argent, friends and family, or hardware wallets. Then if we look at the simplest thing, a transfer. And I'll transfer a few dice. I pick a contact in my address book. You don't see gas, you don't see 0x address. It really takes 3 seconds to make that transfer. You didn't even have to hold ETH. Here, a more interesting test. I will take a random address. Normally, I would take someone from the audience, and I would send like more than 30,000 pounds to that person. Imagine it's someone random from the audience. And what happens now is my wallet, my smart contract, see a transfer to an untrusted address and will delay and block it. And then we added other features, for example, a trade here. I will exchange 5 DAI in ETH, and literally it's one tap, once again. You don't see notion of gas or anything complex. So that was really the starting point. And then we wanted to show that, so we did that. We battle tested that for 18 months. We then got $1 million in wallet. We have users with $10 or $100 that benefit from gas abstraction. They can make payment like with Venmo without owning any ETH. But then we have people with $1 million or more because suddenly they have this super powerful tool that gives them high security, but at the same time, direct access to the funds. And that leads us to the next phase. If you want to prosper of your assets and identity, you need to be able to access the application layer, with a big focus right now for us on DeFi, but that will go beyond. And so if you go back in the app, in the demo, you will see how simple. So you have access to a DeFi marketplace. You literally have a lot, if not most of DeFi. You want to put some funds in Compound to earn interest. Literally, you say, I want 50 DAI. You push on one button, and that's it. You have just put funds in Compound. The contract, the smart wallet, will abstract all the complexity, and it's literally simpler to put money in Compound. We can see the account being open as we speak, and it's easier than opening a savings account with your bank. But that goes also with more complex use case, like putting funds in a Uniswap liquidity pool. Literally, you do that again in one transaction. I want to put 1 ETH in a Maker ETH pool. The contract will take care of everything, will transfer, exchange half of your ETH into MKR so that you can have your 2 assets in the pool. So really abstracting all the complexity of storage, of security, of transfer, and then now of DeFi. And that's something we launched 2 weeks ago. So we have now token set, Uniswap, pulled together, Compound, Maker, I'm sure Aave, which has been very successful in the past 2 weeks. So really creating that direct access for users. So there's still much more work. I mean, we don't believe we can by ourselves bring 1 billion users to DeFi alone. Our goal is really to be this infrastructure that connects the users and protocols. And we bring security and usability, and developers can then focus really on building great dApps, great use case that will solve problems. We will take up the rest. We are looking into, of course, security, usability, layer 2 for scalability, and bit by bit, we will bring all the building blocks needed to scale crypto and DeFi. So that's it for Argent. I've announced last month that we've done our public launch. You can go download the app, have access to everything I've shown on iOS and Android, and we're around for any question, whether it's on Twitter or by email.
Want access to more CogX videos? Subscribe now for free at cogx.co.